3 races down, 7 to go. 12 drivers advanced, 4 went home. Rivals, best friends, teammates, doesn't matter. They're just another spot on the way to the top. If you're slow, well, you better run like hell, because this is the Thunderclap Cloudy 12.
Tonight, the Cloudy 12 makes its way to Darlington to see which drivers can conquer a track they consider too tough to tame. Today, a chance for many drivers to see what they can do to get themselves to the next round in the Thunderclap iRacing Series playoffs presented by TLC Incorporated. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's action here on Grid Vision. Justin Prince, Brian Brittwood with you, Austin Darbyshire as the producer, as we get set to go racing at a racetrack that's so difficult and so slippery. It's very difficult on the tires. It's very difficult on the right sides of race cars. And it's difficult on the competitors alike. And tonight, Brian, the drivers look to see, can they conquer Darlington Raceway?
Yeah, this is a very tough track. I got my Darlington Raceway t-shirt on, and I know Austin Derbyshire, our producer, gave me a hard time before the broadcast, said that he's going to have to put a ticker up there, a counter to count how many times I say that this is my home track. But I definitely love this track. This is a very, very difficult track indeed. Of course, 1.33 miles of pure high-octane difficulty in it. Of course, 82 degrees trackside right now, so pretty cool. And I do believe we're actually going to be racing into the nighttime.
Yes, indeed. The lights getting ready to turn on across the racetrack already as these competitors get set for the middle race of the Cloudy 12, especially with the intensified playoff structure entering tonight's action. Those temperatures expect them to potentially stabilize, if not get a little lower, as tonight's racing festivities progress tonight. In turn, though, as we get set for tonight's action, a lot to talk about when it comes to the playoff structuring. Ryan Truex locking his way into the next round by beating the Bounty at Dover last time out. Sean Bounty is the first on those who are yet to get a victory in this round. Freeman, Jurassic, comfortable, as well as Famosa and Garrett. Matt Cherry close to the bubble. Tyler Truex just 2 points above Roger Diebold. Greg McConey, Justin Clapper, Noah Rainwater all have to pick up lots of points to close up their respective grounds. It's worth mentioning, though, Roger Diebold has been very confident about this track tonight.
Yeah, I could definitely see him being confident. I mean, considering at the moment he is, I do believe, the pole sitter. This is a big track that you want to have track position, so I think this could be a really good day for that 38. Of course, we do have some things that could kind of throw some, wrenches in the strategy. I mean, we got stages 30 and 50. Tire strategy is going to be huge at this track. A lot of times you see over a second, even 2 seconds of fall off. So I don't know what these guys are going to be willing to do. I know that they also had a little bit of problems, I do believe, with the setup coming into tonight's race, having a lot of handling issues. So I'm wondering if that's going to also play any kind of, if that's going to hurt anybody out here or if they've gotten used to it.
Yeah, some drivers have had to make adjustments to how they handle the racetrack. There's also been adjustments to the car in of itself. Here for tonight's action, there was a change entering the evening for that setup. Now in turn, though, as we get set for tonight's action here on Grid Vision, a busy week continuing through August 7th to 13th. Just yesterday, a trip to Kansas where it was Craig Yancek who came away with the victory in champion competition. On Friday, it's the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course for NIS Open competition. Lots of high competitions going very well there. And don't forget about IRP on Sunday for the Global Racing League Truck Series. 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time at the short track. Attrition has been big there this week in official action for reference. In turn, we get set to turn the page towards tonight, Brian.
That's interesting you say that. I think you did some racing this week at IRP. I kind of was, some of my buddies were doing some racing themselves and saw you out there in competition. How you been liking it?
It's been fun when you're up at the front.
I could definitely see that being the case. That's a tough track. That's a very tough track. Not unlike this track where you run kind of close to the wall.
Yes, indeed. These drivers looking to push the tempo, the fast laps, as high as the 29.2s here tonight from Darlington. As we get all situated and ready to go for tonight, we'd like to remind you tonight's action brought to you in part by TLC Incorporated, the premier service provider for lawn sprinklers, landscape lighting, drainage services, and garage makeovers with nearly 40 years of experience. Just one day, your home can become a showcase with a new water-saving lawn sprinkler system, an energy-efficient landscape lighting system, a brand new garage makeover, and a floor that will last you a lifetime. Imagine all the possibilities if you just gave your yard a little TLC. Operating in Maryland, D.C., and Virginia area, call 888-PIC-TLC for more information. Warm-up now being completed. The quickest driver in final warm-ups, John Freeman, who ran 0.2 quicker than his qualifying speed. The 29.2s, if he repeated that in the qualifying session, he would have been on the pole. Instead, these drivers just seconds away from making their way to our 22-car grid here from Darlington. Drivers now getting the advancement to fill the stands and fill the racetrack with race cars. Let's take a look at how we'll start tonight from the place they call Too Tough to Tame. On the pole tonight, Roger Diebold. Extreme confidence entering the evening. One of his favorite racetracks on the bubble. First driver out on the pole alongside Chase Leahy. Matt Garrett starts in third with Jordan Jurassic on the outside of row 2. Sean Boundy, he's the first on point so far in this round. 25 points back of where Ryan Truex is, with him alongside John Freeman. Darren Dennis, he's been quick all throughout the final half of the season, starting 7th alongside Scott Famosa. Matt Cherry in the 67 alongside Tyler Truex, rounding out your top 10.
Of course, Montgomery's going to be starting in 11th place, 12th place TJ Lee, 13th Anthony Burleson, 14th place Greg McConey, 15th Justin Clapper, 16th Robert Walton, 17th Joshua Coroner, 18th Robert Condon, 19th Brandon Schumann. Of course, rounding out the top 20 is Mark McCrary. And just to finish out the 22-car field we have here is Tommy Allen Jr. in 21st and Adam Schramm in 22nd. As we begin to roll, time to get some action going here at the track Too Tough to Tame, or the Lady in Black, as she's like to be called as well.
Yes, indeed. As we get all situated here, as you talked about earlier, the stages for tonight's race here at Darlington. With initial pace lap to gather things forward, it's worth mentioning 30 and 50 for the stages. Fuel run expected to be around that length at the cap for the second stage. So, how do you plan this race out, first of all, especially with 150 laps up on the board? And second, how do you win it?
Yeah, I think how you win it is going to be about saving tires. Now, fuel is going to be a little bit more important here tonight than it usually is. Usually at a track like Darlington, you can make it about 80 laps. But, of course, these guys have a 60% fuel run, so about 40 to 45, kind of like what you mentioned. Of course, tires, these guys have actually quite a bit of sets of tires to work with. 6, I do believe, to play with. But I think tires is going to be the main thing here, to try to save them. Like I said, lap times are going to be they're going to fall off very, very much, maybe even 2 seconds, even over a 40-lap run.
Yeah, those 6 tires available, one of the highest, if not the highest totals of the entire season. It is, in fact, outside of that Atlanta throwback race back in late May. So, in your opinion, who do you think's got the best shot? We already see Roger Diebold, the Californian, up at the pole. Who do you think's going to be the one on top at Darlington tonight, especially with Ryan Truex not here tonight due to personal commitments?
I think Diebold. I like he's confident, and I think confidence is big at a track like Darlington. I think that track position is going to be huge. And if he just kind of dictates the pace here, if he tries to drive it really hard in order to stay in front of everybody here, that could burn his tires up. But then again, Leahy starting up on the top, and the top is the preferred groove around Darlington. So watch out for that 34. But I do have my money set on Diebold. I think he's really good, usually on the longer runs. So I'm gonna put my money on him.
Just about set to go for 150 laps of action at this 1.36 mile facility. Diebold in control on the inside, Leahy on the outside for the TLC start zone. It's the middle race of the Cloudy 12. Can anyone break out of the clouds to be able to secure themselves a comfortable spot for the next round of the playoffs? Let's find out. We're underway from Darlington. Oh, and that
Really
inside
good
line
start.
with a perfect start, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic start for Diebold and Matt Garrett. They both rocket up to the first and second position. Side by side, though, still for third as Leahy's got the top. Now, 1 and 2 is not a good corner or good set of corners to be side by side, but it looks like Leahy was able to really rocket off the top, and he is now all the way back up to the back bumper of 3 of Matt Garrett. Oh, look at my bump to the rear end.
And our first Darlington stripe, Leahy up into the wall from third. We still keep rolling, no major spins. Diebold leads the first lap. And keep in mind, these cars can take a little bit of hits to the outside. You just can't break the tire rod off.
Yeah, that's for sure. This track, you're known for hitting the wall. I mean, it's kind of like a badge of honor when you get into that wall. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that as we see a little bit back further in the field. I do believe Matt Cherry making his way around Darren Dennis. Dennis is actually falling back. When you go side by side here, you are much slower than when you are single file. So I think Dennis just figured that out.
Keeping an eye on Dennis, already back to the 8th position. And one thing drivers have to keep in mind, do not forget to shift. Because if you don't shift here, you could actually knock the wall down. Caution flag is out. Someone has knocked the wall down. It's Justin Clapper. Burleson collided with the 79. We're under caution. That was the battle for 14th position.
Yeah, both drivers are right now stopped on the Boeing backstretches. We're going to take a look back as I do believe they are starting to roll now.
First Eagleswood Creations caution flag comes. This is also a common spot here.
Yeah, that's not the place you really want to be passing. I mean, coming out of 2 is one of the I'd say that's the worst place to try to pass someone. Especially if they're up in the wall. I mean, you see Burleson, I think, came down a little bit into Clapper. Clapper had a really good run on the exit, too. Almost got it to the rear end. You see Anthony Burleson into the outside wall, kind of came down into the 63. The best passing zone on this racetrack is in 3 and 4, and I don't think 2 out of 2 is the best place to do it.
Honestly, I think it's one of the better places to make the pass when you aren't that tight and in pushing up the racetrack.
Well, it takes a lot of courage, I should say, to pass out of 2.
So Allen Jr. amongst those already into the pit lane under our first caution of the night. Eagleswood Creations yellow flag. Racing Deal is the call over the radio. Tonight's action brought to you in part by Eagleswood Creations, your one-stop shop for your laser engraving needs, from wood to acrylic, custom signs, earrings, keychains, coasters, and much, much more. Located in West Creek, New Jersey, but shipping nationwide. It's going to be purchased and custom-made via Etsy or through the website, eagleswoodcreations.com. Follow them today on Etsy, Facebook, and Eagleswood Creations on Instagram. Roger Diebold up at the front. Sean Bounty up 2 spots. Matt Cherry, definitely not saving tires. Wants all the spots. He's up 3 inside the top 6 already.
Speaking of that, I'm kind of surprised at the lap times we're seeing here in the first 5 laps. I mean, qualifying laps were about a 29.2. We're seeing about a half a second of difference in the race lap versus the qualifying lap. So you could definitely tell a lot of these guys are prioritizing being, I guess, easier on the tires. No one's really, I don't think, really trying to be as fast as they possibly can, because that's not the thing you really go for at a track like Darlington. It's all about consistency.
Such a critical thing to consider here, with it being such a rhythm track. Justin Clapper, by the way, coming in this time by. And one of the longer tracks in terms of the pacing structure. It is the one-to-go signal being taken, however, so Clapper going to have to be quick on that service in the 63. Deepwood in control coming up to the TLC restart zone. 21 cars on the track. Adam Schramm, who took part in final practice, did not take the green. So we'll see what happens here with these 21 drivers remaining.
Yeah, for sure. And these restarts can be so hectic. I mean, especially 1 and 2. It's probably the worst place in NASCAR to really go side by side. And a lot of these guys are going to either play, they're pretty much going to be playing chicken into turn 1 every time they have a restart.
By the way, with how things are playing out here, fuel mileage could be tight by the end of stage 2. We'll see. Clapper topping off, but taking a black flag for entering a closed pit. One driver did make it in, as mentioned, to make a scheduled stop at Allen Jr. with the pit lane open. TLC restart zone, Diebold, Matt Garrett, front row. Backing away from Darlington, inside line, again the better line.
I wouldn't say inside line. I'd say more just Diebold. I mean, because Boundy did not get going. He actually is going to, I do believe, jump right up in front of Leahy right now. Matt Garrett got going very well, but Diebold definitely fantastic start there for him. Also, Matt Cherry, we talked about him, moved up to 6th. He's now up to 5th, so he continues to move up through the field as these restarts happen.
Cherry still Munsto situating. Black flag cleared for the 63 at Clapper. All this as well, single file line forming up. Who's going to be able to be the first to be brave enough to make a pass is the question. How about the back of the field there?
Yeah, it looks like Schumann definitely trying to make some stuff happen here. Oh, getting a little bit tight, real loose off the corner. That's going to be something we're going to see a lot of tonight.
Also, Munsto's looking ahead.
Whoa.
That is Walton. A little bit slidey. Finding Greg McConey for 11th spot. 12th spot, in fact.
Yeah, Greg McConey, I think, needs a good finish here tonight. And 13th, I don't think is going to cut it. I think he's going to really need to do better than this. But I think he's also realized that he needs to finish this race. This is going to be a race of attrition. This track chews people up and spits them out almost like Dover last week. Oh, somebody up into the wall. I do believe that was... I can't see. I do believe we see somebody battling, though. Matt Cherry and Jurassic.
Dennis Way on the apron. Cherry on the outside. Jordan Jurassic not backing off. Neither does Cherry.
Wow, what a race. These guys are battling so hard for this position. You can tell Jurassic wants that 5th spot.
And Curly Budgies there for the moment as Cherry able to hold on for the moment to the 5th position. Munsto's up on that top line. Most of the others staying towards that middle to top groove. This early going. Already about a third of the way through stage 1 of the action.
Yeah, we know how fast Jurassic always is. At every track we seem to visit, he has always got really good speed. As he's going to try once again, he is still trying to make something happen. As Diebold's now getting challenged for the lead. Here comes Matt Garrett to the inside. Can Garrett get the pass completed? And that it is. Garrett up to the lead. What a run for the 3 machine.
Matt Garrett back up to the point. He was very quick at Dover as well. He's been quick much of the postseason so far. Diebold nearly to the wall as Bounty looks for the setup.
Could Diebold have been too confident coming into today's race? I mean, I think that could be possibly the case. You see Bounty's also coming up. I mean, Bounty's looking really good speed-wise, 29.589 last time by. Leahy as well. I don't think it's all cut and dry here as Garrett's starting to pull away.
Yeah, right now, Diebold at least a tenth or two slower than those behind him. Dirty air a major factor here, however. Not going to make it easy. Bounty having to lift a lot despite the fact he's been quicker lap time-wise compared to the 38.
Yeah, cleaner air versus dirty air is actually very significant at this racetrack as we see Matt Cherry under fire from John Freeman at the moment, side by side for that 6th place position as they come out of turn number 4. And it looks like Freeman is going to get the pass completed. Freeman always has been a great driver on the longer runs.
But you're saying in terms of the dirty air, that's going to be a major factor, especially when you think about the pace differences in some cases.
Yeah, and not even just pace difference. I think handling and how that affects the tire wear. clean versus dirty air. I mean, when you're in that clean air, a lot of times that makes the car handle a lot better through these corners. But when you're in dirty air, it tightens it up significantly. And this track is all about handling.
Greg McCartney, by the way, up to 11th, retaking the spot for the 66. TJ Lee, McQuarrie, Clapper, Montgomery in that respective pack. Those drivers have already lost 6 seconds to the leader, however, which is fairly significant.
Yeah, and I don't think Debo's done yet. I think that he is kind of still drafting his way back up to Garrett. I mean, last time by, he was 2/10 faster than Matt Garrett. So this is not over yet. I think that Matt Garrett, it might even be a bad thing to be in clean air at this track with the particular setup these guys have on this race car. We'll have to continue to keep an eye on it, as I do believe we have met the halfway point of this stage now.
Indeed we have. It was we see Jurassic correlate the holder of the quickest lap of the race, in terms of the clean lap, should say. Fastest overall, Freeman, just 4/10 quicker with wall scrapes earlier on. Jurassic, you were expecting some big things from him in qualifying. Had a crash in qualifying the second lap, however. Still amongst those looking fairly solid. And amongst those, looking to see how many cautions we get. He was had a lot of feedback coming into tonight's race to make sure the set was good.
Yeah, I bet he did. I talked to him a little bit before the race, just to kind of see what the fuel window was going to be and touch base to see if he thought he had the pole. But he definitely said that the car was really floaty. He didn't feel like he was able to get the power down like he needed to. But I think he's feeling it really good right now. What I'm kind of shocked at, though, is a lot of these drivers, like last time by or the lap before that, Debo actually hit his fastest lap, which was a 29.563. We're 18 laps into this run. This is kind of blowing my mind that we're not having as much tire wear or fall off, I should say, as I suspected. I mean, maybe it's just because of the next-gen machine, but I know if we were in the Xfinity or the trucks, we would definitely have a lot more fall off. So this is kind of interesting.
For some drivers, only about 1/10 of a second of fall off. Some are setting their fastest laps of the race right now.
Yeah, Freeman, I mean, he's not far off his fastest laps right now.
Yeah, this has been very stunning, to say the least, in the early going, but how long does this last? We have had a caution, so we'll see how this plays out in the long term. Looking from Freeman, and watch those gears, because when talking about this in the past, when first time ever drove this racetrack, didn't think, oh, you don't need a shift. It's Darlington. Turns out you do, because if you don't shift for this part of the corner or have it set up in the right gear, you burn the right front tire off.
See, that's interesting. That's something I did not know. I mean, I thought that this tracking a lot of the other cars, the Xfinity and the truck, you really wouldn't, I guess, shift. But 3 and 4 is the slower corner at this racetrack, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this next-gen shifting, and that just adds another layer of complexity. I mean, this racetrack is already so difficult, as we are now at 10 laps to go here in Stage 1.
Matt Garrett continuing to pace the field, only 0.3 of a second of fall off. Near contact, meanwhile, between the 5 and the 6. Freeman zips on by Jurassic. And the fastest car on the track is back in the top 5 and already within range to battle for 4th.
And remember, Freeman was fastest in practice as well. We talked about, or in warm-up, I should say, he wasn't as quick in qualifying, and this is kind of interesting to see. So I think Freeman has got really good race pace, and because of the lack of fall-off, we're starting to see some now. But does this mean that maybe some guys will be willing to stay out after Stage 1 for the track position?
I mean, speaking as we've seen how big track position could be here, it might not be the best of ideas at Darlington, however. We've seen how big tire spin can be. And one of the major attrition points over the years around this racetrack has been not taking tires during a caution, saving a set, and then you have a 20-car pileup into turn 3.
That's true, but I mean, I'm also really incredibly surprised at the lack of tire wear we're kind of seeing right now. But I mean, it is starting to rear its ugly head. I mean, we're seeing about a half a second from some drivers now. Some drivers 4/10. Freeman, though, is just setting still blistering pace. As I do believe he just got by Leahy. He is now up into the top 4 and is trying to chase down Sean Bounty, and I think he's going to be able to do it, as Leahy's actually going to be, I do believe, challenged soon by Jurassic.
Of note, Brandon Schumann, now 4 laps down, came in under green and repaired more than a minute worth of damage. So we do have a potential of a lucky dog already in this race. Freeman flying within a second and a half to the race lead, though, but has equalized everybody else to the 29 8s and 9s. About 6 to go in the stage, coming up to 5 laps to go in stage 1.
I really would watch the pace, though, for Freeman. I feel like if he got out front, I don't think a lot of people would be able to really do anything. I mean, he's a 10th faster than the leader right now. He's almost 3/10 faster than Sean Boundy, who's in front of him. I really think Freeman has got the car to beat right now. He's fastest on the track still, and this could be his night. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, there's a lot of drivers that could be watching him to see what he's doing, and of course, we got to keep in mind, Justin, that this track is going to continue to change as well. As a big moment there for Freeman. He got loose in the middle of turn 2 there.
Just about hit the wall. In fact, he did. That's the reason he got loose. And that is also a nervous moment. No Darlington stripe shown there. However, you bounce off that wall, it launches you at a different angle than you expect.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And there's walls to meet you on the inside as well. So if you bounce off that wall and you come down, especially out of 2, a lot of times you're going to hit that inside wall, and that could be worse than hitting the outside wall because you'll be a lot bigger of an impact as well. And a lot of times at a track like this, that does not bring out a caution unless you bounce up into the racing line.
Yeah, this is a track, mind you, because the apron's so large. With how it's structured, you spin below the racing surface, those first 3 top seams, you do not get a yellow flag for any reason unless it's thrown by race control usually. So we'll see if that comes into play later on. Matt Garrett, he's now pulled away, meanwhile, by nearly 9/10 of a second with D-Bolt in the wall nearly.
Oh, whoa, big problems for Jurassic. He just hit the wall out of 2 as well. Jordan Jurassic definitely just had a little bit of a moment right in front of Matt Cherry. Luckily, he was able to really recover. He still is right on the back end of Leahy. Leahy getting incredibly close as well. I think a lot of these guys are starting to have some tire issues. And I don't think it's affecting their speed. I think it's just more affecting handling right now. So here comes Jurassic to the inside. Not going to be able to make the pass. It's very difficult to pass on the bottom in 1 and 2 right here. And this could set him up for Matt Cherry out of 2.
Well, this is while we come up to 1 to go in the stage, brought to you by RL Productions. Garrett, so far, leading the most laps, coming up to 19 laps led for the 3. Some of the higher tire wear racetracks, he's been very comfortable. Can Garrett hold on for 1 more lap to secure the stage victory and some very important stage points? Championship fight, we'll see. He's currently 6th in the postseason standings.
Yeah, I definitely think he's got it here. You just got to make it through 2 more corners here. Of course, you see D-Bolt under fire from Boundy, but I think D-Bolt's going to have a little bit of a sigh of relief as Garrett crosses the start-finish line. Caution should be coming out here now.
So Matt Garrett wins stage 1. D-Bolt, Boundy, Freeman, Leahy. Top 5. Jurassic, Cherry, Tyler Truex, Famosa, and Dennis. Your top 10. For Eagleswood Creation stage caution, number 1 on the evening. It's their 2nd total caution flag of the race. When we come back, more coverage here on Grid Vision from Darlington Raceway.
SRI Performance. With over 400 product lines representing the top manufacturers in motorsports, we are your one-stop shop for everything racing. 3 of our brick-and-mortar stores are located in North Carolina, and our newest facility in Brownsburg, Indiana. And 4 trackside mobile stores, you can find us spread out throughout the nation. With industry-leading knowledge, we are only a phone call away to visit our customer service experts. And don't forget, we have the world's largest inventory of used race parts. SRI Performance, and stock car steel and aluminum for everything racing.
Hey, Bob Carr here at TLC. Take a look at some of the specials we're running at TLC right now. Hey, Bob Carr here with TLC. Storms are in the forecast, so if you have a problem with water standing in your yard, in your basement, now's the time to give us a call here at the office at 410-721-2342. We'll be glad to provide you with a free, no obligation drainage proposal for your property. Give us a call here at the office at 410-721-2342 or hit the link below. We'll respond back to your email, set you up for a free, no obligation quote for your drainage needs. Let's solve that once and for all. Hey, Bob Carr here with TLC. Now's the perfect time to have your landscape lighting system tuned up for the upcoming summer months. Give us a call here at the office at 410-721-2342 and let's get you some light out there. Hey, Bob Carr here with TLC. Hope you guys are enjoying this race. Let's take it down to the booth and get updated on what's going on.
Welcome back to tonight's action for the Thunderclap iRacing Series Playoffs, presented by TLC Incorporated, brought to you in part by RL Productions, a Baltimore-based national video marketing agency specializing in video marketing solutions and commercial advertising. RL Productions offers custom brand strategies tailored to your company with its unique goals with in-house level attention to detail. RL Productions also offers complete international event solutions for your conference and convention needs. With both on-ground and live stream production capabilities, visit rlproductioncrew.com to turn your expectations into real-life productions. Yes, that is the RL Productions car hitting the tire barrier. That is Robert Condon, who is now in the pit lane because of that.
Yeah, that's no fun. That is unfortunate there for sure. You hate to see it. But it looks like we're getting ready to get this thing back underway. Now, this is going to be a much shorter stage, Justin. I mean, we're going to lap 50 to 51, so I do believe that's going to be about a 15-lap run.
Yeah, this is going to be a lightning quick stage here. So, as Condon loses an air lap and has a black flag in sim, it's worth noting that race control has clarified the reason for the wave black flag for Clapper initially. That is a potential to be waived if you voice through race command that it is an unwarranted black flag, such as for spinning on pit road to avoid a wreck, or dropping down pit road to avoid an incident, or passing the driver if they haven't caught up to the field before they pit. So that falls under that category according to race control. That's why, in turn, Clapper had that. However, Clapper also had to get a minute of damage repair, so he has lost the lap regardless. So, Robert Condon also has passed the pace car before he was supposed to. In fact, he wasn't supposed to pass it. So this restart's about to be interesting. With 15 to go, Robert Condon is doing a standing start as we come up to the TLC restart zone. Garrett, Boundy, Freeman, Diebold, your top four. Green flag waits up at the stand. Back underway. Condon is off and away from the apron.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I don't think that caused anybody to have any black flags, so I think we're okay here. But good restart there from Matt Garrett. Side by side, Boundy and Freeman are dueling into 1 and 2. You see, of course, I do believe Freeman up on the top, getting or actually that is Boundy up on the top, getting a really good run out of turn 2. So he settles that battle and secures second.
Able to hold on for now on this quick sprint. Every single driver took tires. Burleson took an extra few seconds in the pit lane for repairs to the 79. Montgomery, amongst those are short stops and corner, amongst those now in the wall. No caution, we stay green, the 16 heading the fence.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We'll take a look back at it. That Gravedigger race car has got a pretty significant left and right side damage. Actually, I think he got loose out of two. And I think he lost it and actually hit the inside wall. Wow. Knocked the front bumper off of that race car. That was a significant hit. That's probably the worst thing you can have happen out of turn 2.
From Trailer's parts worker on the apron, all well. Matt Garrett, he's checked out. 1.1 seconds. And more trouble down the back straightaway. Everybody taking the Joker turn. Tower Truex and several others nearly knocking the wall down as it's 2 by 2 behind them.
Yeah, definitely a lot of guys having the battle right now and just avoid crashes here. As this is also separating the pack quite a bit. Of course, 8th and 9th right now is, I do believe, over a second. Actually, I should say 7th and 8th is over a second in between those two drivers. So, of course, Tyler Truex is being held up, or everybody behind Truex is being held. 46 TJ Lee sideways on the apron. There's a lot of guys having a lot of problems here.
Robert Condon has also knocked the wall down again on his own. We stay still green. Tyler Truex trying to hold off the 88. This is for 8th position. All while 10th is up for grabs. Robert Walton looking to steal a point away from Greg McConey, a playoff driver.
Yeah, this is definitely getting very intense. These guys realize how short this stage is, and of course every point matters. Another guy, I do believe, hitting the wall a little bit further back. Seeing a lot of guys hitting the wall here in this stage. See the 66 of Condon all over McConey right now.
Still not able to build up the run. Someone has built up a run for second, though. As you see on the pylon, Freeman's to second. Still more contact to the walls as near contact for Diebold. Freeman had been told over the radio, if you get to a point where you get alongside, I'll let you pass. Now they're getting really dicey behind Diebold, though.
Yeah, you can see Leahy's definitely trying to make something happen on Matt Cherry. Cherry holding him up just a hair. Let's see how aggressive Leahy's going to be. You see, of course, he is taking the optimal line, trying to build up a run here on the 67. Love this hood camera or roof camera we have here on the 34.
Slow car on the apron. That's Brandon Schumann. We stay green for the time being. Leahy trying that diamond line. That is a very decent line if you can get it done right. That hasn't worked today, though. Most drivers, if anything, not willing to try that bottom line that a few eNASCAR drivers utilized in the past.
What's really interesting, just a lap ago, Matt Garrett hit his fastest lap of the race, a 39.329. That's almost a qualifying lap. Wow. Really, really quick laps there from that driver. Of course, last time, by the way, Freeman was actually a little bit quicker than Garrett, as the gap for the lead is about 1.3 seconds at the moment.
Boundy settling inside the top three once again. Trouble, Matt Garrett out of turn two, nearly loses the 3 car, holds on to it, and doesn't loop it around. One of the quick drivers from Dover, 30 laps led last time out, nearly ended this time right then and there.
Yeah, I mean, if he just holds on for another 6 laps now, I think he'll be okay. It's just he definitely cannot do that anymore, because if you give Freeman that track position, I think he's going to run away with it. It's about 8 tenths now, or 9 tenths of a second is the gap. Durasic alongside Matt Cherry for 6th place. Big battle. What a move for Durasic. Oh, wow, this guy has been just making some huge moves.
Diebold also over the racetrack. Let's take a look at this quick replay. This is Cherry and Leahy battling currently in the spot for the top 5.
And you see Cherry got really loose, and that's what allowed Durasic to be able to make that move.
In turn, Jurassic now inside the top 6. These drivers have pulled away by 2+ seconds, by the way, from the 8 through 12 pack. Now it's alongside again for 5th.
You see Durasic now up to the 5th spot. Diebold, of course, started on the pole, is now back to 6th, so his race is getting worse and worse. And I'll tell you, he needs as many points as he can possibly get here. This is not a good day for him to continue to fall back. Of course, a top 10 will be good for him, but I think he wants to win this race. And unfortunately, I think all that confidence might have been misplaced.
You know, someone who's been quietly having some speed? The Speed King's car, the 86. Mark McCreary, up 12 spots in, just to say that he's in the wall. He's your biggest mover for now.
Doesn't look too bad. I don't see much damage on his right side. I mean, it looks like I don't see any damage, to be honest. So I think he's keeping that clear point Chevy clean for now. So hopefully doesn't hit it much harder than that. As we see Tyler Truex will be battling with Darren Dennis. Dennis on the inside coming into turn number 3. I think Tyler Truex has, I think he's struggling a little bit at this racetrack, and that kind of surprises me considering how strong he is at a lot of these technical tracks.
Speaking of the struggles we've seen from Matt Garrett, he's under pressure because coming up to 1 to go in the stage, Freeman is there, 4/10 back of Matt Garrett. And Freeman's quickly getting through the gear shifts. Garrett is sliding those tires coming up to the 1 to go.
Yeah, he is trying desperately to keep this position, and I think he's going to be able to do. I think he's going to be able to do it. He's just got to make it just a few more corners. It's going to be too difficult, I think, for Freeman to actually make this pass stick. And of course, I think everybody's going to be. I'm wondering if everybody's going to be falling back down pit road again to take fresh tires. I mean, this could be, because of how short this stage is, could be an opportunity for some different strategies.
Green and white checkered waving. Matt Garrett sweeps the first 2 stages. Freeman in second. Bounty, Leahy, and Jurassic the top 5. Deepold 6. Cherry, McCrary holding off Facconi for 8th. Tyler Truex gets the final stage point for second. Eagleswood Creations caution flag 4 stages. So that brings us to under 100 laps to go, about a third of the way of the race complete. More coverage coming up here from Darlington.
Eagleswood Creations, your one-stop shop for wood, acrylic, custom engravings such as signs, boards, earrings, and much, much more. You can follow them today on Facebook, Instagram, or you can check out their website, eagleswoodcreations.com.
Hey homeowners, you're going to drag your hose through the yard in 2023? There's a better way to water your lawn. TLC Incorporated has been installing custom and professional underground lawn sprinkler systems for over 38 years. Our team would be happy to come out to your property at your convenience and provide you with a free, no obligation quote for a new custom underground lawn sprinkler system for your home. No more dragging the hose. No more dry and dusty patches in your yard. Our smart lawn sprinkler systems will efficiently provide water to your lawn all season long with a healthy green grass from your front yard to your back. Click the blue Learn More button below, and the team at TLC can start building the perfect lawn sprinkler system for your home right away. Hey, Bob Carr here with TLC. Hope you guys are enjoying this race. Let's throw it back to the guys in the booth.
Welcome back to Darlington for more coverage of the Thunderclap iRacing Series playoffs presented by TLC Incorporated. We currently work our way to the start of Stage 3. Tonight's action as we get set for the TLC restart zone. The next few moments, tonight's action brought to you in part by TLC Incorporated, with services including custom lawn sprinkler systems, custom landscape and outdoor lighting systems, drainage solutions for flooded and wet backyards, and custom garage floors and makeovers. Call 888-PIC-TLC for more information. So, how are things going? Well, things were looking great for Matt Garrett before a 29-second pit stop sequence. So Matt Garrett is now in 13th spot after winning the first 2 stages. Appears to be potential of damage repair coming in for Garrett. So there was damage on that 3 that seemed to be hampering it a little bit by the end of that race.
Yeah, that's definitely very interesting indeed. I'm surprised that he took all that damage repaired. I guess it had to be really affecting him, and we've seen quite a shakeup when it comes to the running order at the moment. Of course, Debo's now up to second. Sean Bounty's our leader. Of course, Freeman's falling back to 6th. So, I mean, pretty much just shake it all up, and this is what we have, the running order.
So
Garrett's
Bounty,
coming back down pit road again here.
yeah, so Garrett seems to still be working on stuff as Debo now to second. Jurassic in 4th. 3rd spot is now Matt Cherry. Mark McCrary, one of the quiet storylines of the night. Amongst those who needed some solid runs tonight in the 88. See how it goes as Brandon Schumann end of longest line penalty. McCrary, keep in mind, had been a driver in the first round of the playoffs, eliminated, but has quietly become one of the fastest cars on the racetrack outside of Freeman.
Yeah, definitely. Been awesome to see this race, how it's been kind of unfolding, and this is when the real race begins. No stages are going to separate these guys. What is the strategy is going to be? Of course, we talked about the fuel window being about 40 to 45 laps. Tires also going to be at play. These guys can't make it, I do believe, on just one stop. Maybe it could be possible. It's going to be close, though, as we see the pace car dip down pit road.
Coming up to the TLC restart zone, Bounty choosing the top side. Looking on board, this is Jordan Jurassic outside row 2 for the green flag this time by.
Some drivers actually did not make it up to the actual pack before the green flag came out. Tommy Allen Jr. was one of those drivers. As, of course, we see Sean Bounty utilizing that top side. Really got a really good start. D-Bold able to secure second place. Jurassic falls in line into 3rd. I think Jurassic's going to probably go for 2nd here.
Oh, a big cutoff, though, from D-Bold. Able to hold on for now.
I hope this race goes green, though, because...
Oh!
Big moment for D-Bold. Whoa!
D-Bold with the save all the way up the racetrack and outside the top 7 he goes. Tyler Truex is in the wall as Jurassic moves to 2nd. And now Cherry nearly going around off the corner.
Oh, my word. Formosa just lost his right front fender by hitting the wall. He just lost huge damage on the
that's a problem. That's a problem for the Speedkins car. He does not have steering anymore.
My word. I don't think it's going to be a caution. But he is not able to get to pit road. He cannot turn the race car to get to pit road. Look at that. You can see it just locked up on the right front tire.
So Scott Formosa, a disaster. That could be a race ender. It's at least a few minutes of time to repair a broken wheel. Bounty, meanwhile, as everyone else has wildness go abound, he's leading by 0.6.
Wow.
Let's take a look at the replays. How did this pack break up? Well, this is partly why.
See, Debo's getting loose, and I think Formosa was trying to avoid Truex. What the heck? That was a hard hit. He got loose in the middle of 3 and 4 and just popped up into the wall with such force that it broke his right front tire. Look at the move from Garrett. You see Matt Garrett just dives underneath all of them.
I mean, do you blame him?
No, not at all.
Positions are positions. Top 3 now have broken away a bit. McCrary, Cherry, McConey now leading pack 2 that's formed up. And now it leads the question, where did Greg McConey come from? Because he had been running the top edge of the top 10 all race. Now he nearly slides it up to the inside wall again.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are having handling issues. You can see it's just continuing to get darker and darker as well. And I think that's causing a lot of these guys maybe to have the handling change on the race cars. So it could be changing for the worse in a lot of ways. I feel like a lot of these guys are getting looser. A lot of these guys are smacking the wall more often.
Yeah, that track temperature has not changed, it's worth noting. So it has stagnated, but the amount of rubber buildup has not stagnated, to say the very least. Take a look at the battle that's now for 8th. Tyler Truex again nearly into the wall.
Yeah, this has just not been Tyler Truex's night. He just cannot seem to get the handling of that car right. And a lot of times with a track like Darlington, if you hit the wall, it really hurts the handling quite a bit. I mean, of course, the suspension, if you change that at all, knock the toe out. This is a track that you can't really mess with that. It's a fine balance, and Tyler just seems like he just cannot seem to get it right. And hopefully, he's probably waiting for this night to be over as quick as it possibly can.
Oh, and near contact, there is contact. McConey making contact with Matt Cherry's rear end. We stay green. Matt Cherry saves it, but drops outside the top 9. Up back to 10th. Clapper, in turn, moves him outside the top 10 just about.
And you see Matt Garrett as well. Garrett's going to get held up by this. So Garrett comes up to Clapper. He's going to make a big move to the inside.
Garrett trying to make up for a lot of lost time. Had to top off, had to get damage repair done. And when you pick up damage on this car, it can accumulate. It can handle some hits, but not all the hits, if you know what I mean. Not every single hit can be a gem.
No, definitely not. I'll tell you what, I feel for Roger Diebold right now. He is being held up so bad by Tyler Truex. He could not get around him. He cannot get around him right now. It's so hard to pass at this racetrack. I mean, you got to pick your moments. You see that Tyler Truex getting incredibly loose out of the corner.
You just see from how he sees it, outside of maybe the steering wheel in terms of the sim side. Just trying to get that bottom line to work. Tyler Truex goes to the bottom and spins it. He locks it down. No caution. We stay green. The Tyler Truex machine drops all the way back into the battle for 10th position. Right to Matt Garrett.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. Garrett's trying to get around him. As we take a look at the replay, it looks like Garrett will probably get around him just fine. But let's take a look. You see Tyler Truex coming off of turn 2, just a hair loose. Getting back to the gas, and unfortunately spins the tires, and he is able to lock it up. He does lose some spots, now back to 11.
Of note, Burleson has also picked up required damage from a contact to the inside wall. We still stay green, but another driver this run, meatball flag, meaning their run very likely done for now. Still looking at the race lead fight. It has closed up from what was a pretty sizable start for the lead for Bounty. Jurassic and Freeman quickly try to show off that Chevy power to the Toyota.
Oh, yeah. Jurassic definitely looking really good in that 6 machine. I mean, he's definitely been very impressive when it comes to his speed in the race. Been matching these guys step for step. Bounty, of course, I think he's struggling a little bit here in the cleaner air. We'll have to wait and see how this kind of turns out. The 6 of Jurassic getting some incredible runs up to the back of the 6, but we saw earlier with Diebold trying to get by Tyler Truex. I don't think Jurassic's going to have an easy time getting around Bounty, and this has also brought Freeman into the mix as well. A 3-car battle essentially for the lead, and you can see these 3 cars are in a different zip code, Justin. Mark McCrary, who's in 4th, is 3 seconds back from these guys.
So 2 JCR cars bundled up. There's McCrary indeed, who's running at about the same speed as the leaders. McConey up inside that top 5. And with all the troubles of everyone else around, things have really opened up in terms of clean air for these 2 Fords at least. Up at the front, not so much. Oh, it's some trouble.
To run away here. Go ahead.
More trouble. Darren Dennis off the pace from 7th. He's hit the wall too. Let's take a look because there was a few different hits to the right front, it appears. All of it starting off about here.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Diebold has been catching it. He keeps having guys getting loose all in front of him, but luckily he's been getting by them without much damage. So Diebold now up to that 6th spot. You see right, I do believe here is where the hit possibly could happen here for Dennis.
You had a couple
there it is.
Yep.
Boom.
That definitely is it. That's definitely it.
That'll make you come to pit road. I think that's going to be enough for a black a meatball flag.
And then he hit it a couple more times before realizing, I've got to come in. I've got a broken tire.
Yeah, this race has been such an attrition race. I mean, it's a cheese grater. I mean, everybody out here is having a tough time. This is not a place where you feel comfortable. And I think a lot of these guys are definitely going to leave this place with a whole lot more reverence for the track too tough to tame.
JCR racing car switching spots. Freeman being let go by Jurassic. This happened last time in a similar sequence. Now it's the matter with a lot more time for Freeman to work with. 20 laps at least this run. How does this break out? Lap traffic for the first time. He is ahead, however. It's Allen Jr.
Yeah, I think that showed a lot of wisdom for Jurassic. I think he was like, you know, I don't really want to push my stuff too much. I know that Freeman has got a better long run car. But yeah, lap traffic is very difficult at this racetrack. We'll see how Boundy is going to handle it. Does Allen Jr. get out of the way? It's a very difficult track to deal with lap traffic. It looks like Allen Jr. is going to go down the racetrack, down onto the apron, let these guys go. Very respectable thing to do there.
The Timer Truex machine moving way down the track, also working with Greg Vile over the season as well. Freeman, meanwhile, he's looking for the lead, has the run. Within a car length to try and make the pounce, coming up to halfway next time by. Oh, and Freeman's in the wall.
Yeah, he just got, I think that dirty air really tightened him up in a lot of ways, and I think that that caused him to get up into the wall. And a lot of times when you're really close to the back end of someone else, you're not able to really hit your marks quite as well as you would want at this at Darlington. But I don't think Jurassic or Freeman got too much damage out of that. I think he's going to possibly be able to line up another charge. But if Boundy doesn't make a huge mistake, I don't think it's going to really come to fruition. This is a racetrack to where you're not going to be able to pass unless the guy in front of you makes a mistake.
It is worth noting, though, last time by, Boundy a couple 100 slower. This time by, another few 100s. Freeman, his major trouble spot has been once he gets within 3/10 of the car in front. Here tonight. Just past halfway in the race, Sean Boundy, 23 laps led up at the front. Matt Garrett, 42-10 for Roger Debold. Nearly into the wall. Freeman again. Still can't get out through that dirty air.
Yeah, and even though Jurassic let Freeman go just a little bit ago, I mean, he's been really running these guys down, running faster laps than these drivers. I don't know, though. Boundy rebounding with a sub-30-second lap. Very good lap there for Boundy. I think Boundy's just been kind of weathering the storm. I don't think he's really been trying too hard. As here we go, battle for second place. Does Freeman give the same courtesy as Jurassic gave him?
Jay Wild giving a little bit of McLovin to the back end of McLovin's car. Trying to get him back up to speed after some slides. Doesn't really seem to work, though. Bump drafting at Darlington. By the way, Roger Debold has reeled in, as well as Greg McCody, the back end of the 88 of McQuarrie, who has picked up dirty air from the 28.
And also not that far back is Matt Garrett trying to get by Matt Cherry, who's sitting right behind Robert Walton as well. So we're seeing a lot of battling here for that 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th place position. Leahy's back in the mix too. Leahy has had a fast race car this night as well.
Lost a lot of track position as a little bit of a bobble from Walton. Different look for the 66 tonight. But now it's Garrett looking underneath his teammate, making the pass. That moves Garrett back to the 8th position. Of note, Scott Famosa and Burleson have both come back. More contact the wall, this time for Garrett. Able to keep it straight, no mandatory repairs.
Yeah, definitely really good save there for Garrett. That could have been a bad deal for him. But nonetheless, he was able to keep it going straight as we're now on lap 80. Still quite a ways to go as we're now 70 laps to go here in this event. Of course, we're closing in, I do believe, closer and closer to the end of the fuel window.
Expecting pit stops within the next 10 laps or so at the least. By the way, Burleson back in, having to serve a black flag for his pit exit sequence. So the two JCR cars have fallen off. Roger Debold is coming in.
I like this. I really like this from Debold. I think he knows that I can't make it on one stop. So I'm going to try to do 2 stops. This is the perfect track to do stuff like that. I mean, I know that it takes quite a long time to get down pit road. But a lot of times with new tires, it could be much, much faster than the rest of the field. We'll have to see how that goes. Maybe he even tries to do something different where he doesn't take tires from just fuel. It's curious. I'm very curious to see what he does. I'm going to be keeping an eye on how long he spends in this box.
Keep in mind that fall-off number we talked about that was minuscule before is now up to 1 second a lap. Matt Garrett also in this time by in the 3 car. And this is not an easy pit lane to enter. It's also very easy to lose at least a lap, if not a lap and a half to 2 laps, if you aren't careful, depending on where you are in the field.
Keep in mind, little bit of an update on Diebold. He spent 17 seconds in his box. I think that's a little bit longer than I think he wanted to. Maybe he was getting a little bit of damage repaired on that race car. He's now a lap down. Matt Garrett is, of course, come down pit road. We'll have to see how long he spends in his box. I'm looking at the numbers right now.
Yeah, I can confirm, just had a long stop. Robert Walton in. Tyler Truex is also now in. These two drivers have a history of working together over the season, near contact to the pit boxes. But Tyler Truex, not been the best of runs for a former NASCAR driver because he just missed his stall. Now, it's a tough thing to mention here. Not just that pit entry with how sharp it is, Brian, but also, how do we put this politely? The iRacing pit stall lines are absolutely wrong. Do not follow them. They are not lined up to the current pit box metrics. That is something being worked on for the next build.
Yeah, I didn't realize that, but kind of circling back to how difficult this pit road is. I mean, it's one of the most difficult pit roads in NASCAR. You have to pretty much slow down in turn 3 in order to get prepared for it. As I was looking at Matt Garrett, he also spent 17 seconds plus in the box. So I'm wondering what that is. I'm wondering if maybe it took a little bit longer to fuel the race car up, but Diebold's all over the back of Robert Walton right now.
Walton, interestingly enough, a 6-7 second pit stop. So
no tires.
That was a choice. Is he going to regret it? More contact to the wall. Justin Clapper's in the fence, right behind Montgomery's pack as Bounty stretches.
Yeah, I'm surprised a lot of these guys are. I think a lot of these guys are attempting the one stop. Maybe some guys trying to save here. As it looks like Rob Walton is coming back down pit road again here.
Hearing it might have been the potential speeding. He has confirmed Robert Walton caught speeding. Passed through penalty. And there's the difference in fresh tires and old tires. Bounding now picking up dirty air. Unlapping himself, Matt Garrett, and the 29.6s. The leader's running 30.5s. And it looks like with the troubles for the 79, things have intensified. After serving a black flag, getting mandatory repairs done, let's go back to the pit lane.
Yeah, I tell you, the 79 has been catching it all race long. Unfortunate there for him.
And now out of the car, Freeman going for the undercut. Bounty saying he's coming in this upcoming time by. There's the 5. His teammate Jurassic staying forward. Bounty trying to make the cut to left side towards the pit lane this time. No issues. Close on the mark, though. Speed limit here at this racetrack tonight, very tight, 45 miles an hour.
Yeah, that was a really good pit stop there, or should I say entry into pit lane there for Bounty. Really cut it very, very close. And, you want to be somewhat aggressive at this racetrack, and it looks like he was able to do that, and it's going to probably gain some time as a result of it. Hopefully he didn't get caught speeding, as we see the majority of drivers now coming down pit road. So a lot of stops happening at the moment. McConaughey now at the lead of the field right now. He's got about an 8-second gap to Matthew Montgomery.
How long does he stretch it is a major question. Of note, Montgomery did top off under caution, so he might be able to push it even further than this 12 car. Leahy is in this time by, so that leaves just a couple drivers yet to take service this run. Allen Jr., Lee, Montgomery, McConaughey, all yet to pit here at Darlington, as McConaughey's now coming in to join the New Jersey-based driver of Leahy.
Yeah, this is definitely interesting. I think the net leader, once all these green flag stops are over, is going to probably be Sean Bounty. No one is good to make it to the end after these green flag stops. They're all going to have to make another stop again. So I'm kind of curious how this is all going to play out. The guys that I think split it more evenly, they could be the strategy that plays out the best. I'm not quite sure. This is going to be interesting to unpack as this race continues. I'm not sure which strategy is the best.
Not that many cars on the lead lap, however, currently, so if anything is to happen in the midst of the cycle, things could get wild. Montgomery just let Jurassic back on the lead lap. Freeman is the first driver a lap down, right at the edge of the window. Bounty, by the way, that net advantage is about 1.6, maybe 1.4 seconds currently over the 6 car, who is coming. He's been quicker short run.
I like Debo's strategy. We talked about him pitting a little bit earlier. He's catching up to the back end of Freeman, or he's not necessarily catching him, but he's matching his lap times right now. And because he pitted earlier, he gained a lot of that, I'd say, on-track time back, but it looks like he got a little bit loose there out of turn 4. But still, very good strategy, I think, in order to try to get the time he lost back from sitting behind Tyler Truex and, of course, the other drivers that he had to sit in behind.
Your contact with Lee as he lets on by Freeman. Montgomery still yet to pit. And the speed difference in the corners, too, is major between the old tires and the fresh tires, as much as 10 miles an hour in the midst of the corner. Montgomery having to go to a slow crawl to avoid contact with the wall.
Same thing is going for TJ Lee. I mean, he is very much off the pace, 30.9. I mean, that is 2 seconds off of his fastest lap. And this is definitely. I thought Darlington had a pretty good bit of fall off in this next gen. And I think I was right. Earlier in the race, it was somewhat deceptive. But maybe it's because you said the track tips haven't changed. I think maybe the tire wear we're seeing might have something to do with the rubber that's being laid down as well.
Yeah. And it's interesting because if you're in the rubber line, it helps in terms of grip. If you're outside that preferred group sometimes, it's like driving on ice. So, but that's just a part of that track dynamic that we talk so much about here at a circuit like this.
Yeah, I know recently I do believe iRacing kind of as well increased a lot of that dynamic track, those features in a lot of ways to where it is more of an apparent thing. And I think we're seeing that here played here at Darlington.
That has been a talking point for future builds with the oval refresh you're talking about. That was talked about last month and talked about a bit more in depth during charity race just this past week and a half. See if that comes into fruition in later stages of this season, especially for the final rounds of the campaign. Could be. Jurassic, meanwhile, he's within a second to Sean Boundy again. Can this time a move be done? Clean air versus dirty.
I don't know. I mean, last time we saw Jurassic or Freeman get really, really close to the back end of Boundy, it seemed like they just struggled very much so to break that, like you said, 0.3 of a second gap. We'll see if Jurassic can do anything. I mean, this is going to be curious. I mean, last time by, he was about 0.2 faster than Boundy. You see he's really rocking it in around the top side. I think he's going to close in quite quickly. He's now got that 0.3 of a second gap. How is the handling going to be here into 3 and 4?
Montgomery, Lee, and Allen Jr. still yet to pit. Hearing that's a possibility soon. See if these drivers can figure out who gets the net lead for the two-stoppers. Boundy a little bit harder on the send. Jurassic having to back up the corners to be able to get the diamond line. Too much diamond as he nearly spins it.
I kind of like this strategy from Montgomery and TJ Lee. I got to be honest. I think if they can make it a few more laps, they might be able to one-stop this race, and that could be huge. That could be huge. I'm curious to see how that works out. Just I hate to take away from this battle from Sean Boundy and Jurassic, but that's just kind of. I just thought about that. I was like, if they can make it, that could be big.
It's going to be close because here's the thing. 45 laps in as Famosa moves out of the way of the battle of the net race lead. He just confirmed he's coming in this time. Those drivers stretching it have to make it 50 laps to try and win this race. And that also was it with an 18-second cushion over this fight that's about to take the race lead with them peeling into the other end of the racetrack.
Yeah, I think.
And Montgomery's missed the pit road. Montgomery has missed the pit road and just about hit the barrels. So there goes Montgomery's chances. Boundy and Jurassic looking to battle it out. They'll pass by Lee and Montgomery as they now fight for what's likely going to be for the win.
Yeah, at least Lee made it down in pit road. But when you stay out for that long, I mean, the tires are just so shredded that you could just, it's very difficult to make this pit road when you're on old tires. And you see Sean Boundy definitely doing a fantastic job holding off Jurassic. You can just see that Jurassic cannot seem to break that bubble. And this track is just so narrow. The actual racing groove on this racetrack is so narrow that there's not a lot of opportunity for Jurassic to actually get clean air.
TJ Lee is now the only driver who might have a shot at winning this race on that strategy, by the way, of those stretching the gas. And Montgomery, for notice, has ran out of gas, as we're sort of missing that pit lane. That strategy, not in the best scenario. That's another 3 seconds lost for anyone attempting to pin drivers a lap down and try the one stop. He's out of gas fully. He's completely out.
That would have been a shocker there. And you know, TJ Lee, I think it's still very incredibly unlikely that he is going to make it on fuel. He's real close, but he's going to have to save a lot of gas, and I don't know if it's going to necessarily be worth it. He's right now a lap down. We'll have to wait and see. We got to keep in mind that the rest of these guys still have to pit, so it's still up in the air on what could happen here. If TJ Lee can stretch it just a little bit longer, he might have a chance here.
Speeding penalty, Scott Famosa, by the way. So he's come back down. Allen Jr. has closed out the first pit window, having to make it 47 laps, but is not in a position to be in front of these drivers after the pit stop cycle. So this is now the battle for the race lead. Green light on fuel in about 5 laps time already. Bounty and Jurassic, 3 seconds up. McCreary and Diebold, for reference, 8 seconds back, where Freeman is 11 seconds back of the race leaders. McConey and Garrett, 15 seconds back. All with Tom Truex and Matt Cherry, 17 seconds back. Most of the field is currently at least a third of the track behind with the pace of these two. Coming up to the final stages of tonight's action here on Grid Vision. 45 to go. This upcoming time by here for the second race of the Cloudy 12 for the Thunderclap iRacing Series playoffs presented by TLC Incorporated.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Grid Vision for more coverage of the Thunderclap iRacing Series playoffs presented by TLC Incorporated. Sean Bounty still leads. However, the pit window is open. Roger Diebold pitting a few laps ago in the 38 car in the 12th spot. So drivers are in the midst of their final pit stop sequences. Already halfway through the fuel run are a majority of your race leaders. Bounty has been lightning quick in this third stage after Matt Garrett had dominated the first 2 stages. For reference, Garrett is in the 6th position. Major differences between the start of the race and this back end of the race, Brian. Strategy about to really intensify here, to say the very least, for this win.
Yeah, for sure. I think any second now we're going to see the rest of these drivers, especially in the top 4, top 5, starting to pit. I mean, most of these guys are really on similar strategies. I know Greg McConey is on fresher tires than a lot of these guys in the last time by. He was one of the faster cars on the racetrack, but I still feel like a lot of these guys very, very soon are going to start to file down pit road. It really just depends. I think in the next 10 or so laps, I think that's when the majority of guys are going to start to navigate this most difficult pit road, I'd say, in NASCAR. But you could definitely see that the intensity is starting to rise. The guys are realizing that that the race is almost over, and they got to do something incredible here. As you see, of course, the battle, I do believe Matt Cherry and Tyler Truex starting to brew here for 7th.
Yeah, Tyler Truex, throughout this race, has struggled on the long run. Been in his Achilles heel today. Matt Cherry, his best part of the runs, the short run. And that SRI performance-based machine to be able to fly ahead. Just got confirmation, by the way, on one of the reasons, keyword one of the reasons, the 25 had issues. How about your button box breaking to cause you to hit the tire barrier?
I've never heard of the button box causing you. How does that happen? I mean, I understand maybe your wheel or something breaking, but not your button box.
You look at the button box, try and fix the button box, forget you're turning into the pit lane, hit the barrels instead. It happens every day.
Every day? Not to me.
You don't. Well, Bounty, meanwhile.
Get to the outside wall right now.
Oh.
So he just got passed by Diebold, who's on the fresher tires. I think you can see Jurassic clearly starting to struggle. He's about 2 seconds back from Sean Bounty right now.
Yeah, Jurassic has fallen off a cliff in pace. For reference, Bounty, he's done this several times this year, especially with the Xfinity Series car. He's good on the long run.
Yeah, he definitely is. And what's kind of interesting, I think Bounty wasn't necessarily very comfortable at Dover last week, but it seems like he's very comfortable right now. In this race, he's been running really good, standing up to the pressure, dealing with lap traffic. He's coming up, I do believe, to Justin Clapper right now.
Decent recovery for the 63 involved in the first caution of the night. But that EPN nutrition machine has been able to hold on for now and be able to hold on to the grip. Tyler Truex, by the way, in the pit lane. So the main pit stop strategy is underway. Now, when does everyone else blink? That was 33 laps for Tyler Truex.
Yeah, it's got to be any time now. Bounty's probably going to be coming down very, very soon. I think he wants to try to. If I was him, I'd try to under.
Tyler Truex, that wasn't scheduled, actually.
Oh,
that
no.
was another meatball flag.
You see Roger Diebold right there getting one of his laps back. Now just one lap down. We've seen a lot of meatball flags here tonight over half the field. I think it's probably had some.
I think we might need to see if we can get a replay because hearing it's not accessible. Did hear the 69 Tyler Truex hit the pit wall, Brian.
Oh, no.
So it was both.
So he was trying to pit. It was scheduled that he was trying to pit, but unfortunately that did not go well, it sounds like.
Anyway, Matt Cherry completing service. Already on the lead lap all of a sudden, or one lap down rather, is Roger Diebold. That's the difficult part of Roger Diebold's strat. He puts himself 2 laps down. If he gets a caution, he's out of the picture. On the bright side, he's already made the pass for the second spot a lap down. Matt McCreary into the pit lane.
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to have quite a bit of a gap, I'd say, on Bounty, Jurassic, and Freeman when they come down. So, yeah, it just depends if a caution comes out. But, I mean, if nothing happens, I think he's going to be in really good shape. Though he will have much older tires than the rest of the guys. That's going to be the big part of it, as you see big moment there from Justin Clapper in front of the leader, Bounty. Looks like Bounty, though, is able to get by successfully. Looks like Clapper trying to go to pit road. I think he might. Is he going to make it?
Oh, he did make the main cone. That might be an unsafe. Yeah, that's an unsafe pit entry usually. We'll see. It depends on the sim at times. Matt Garrett, he's also in. No
Yeah,
black
he went
flag
way
displayed
wide.
for Clapper. Go ahead.
Yeah, he went way wide. I'm surprised that's not going to be a penalty there for him. That's
Well,
interesting to say the least.
Well, if it is, we'll find out when he stays for 40 seconds as Leahy misses the pit lane on a slide.
There's been a lot of that. I'm telling you, this is one of the most difficult pit roads in NASCAR. It really is. I mean, it's so easy to miss that thing, and when you miss it, a lot of times you hit that wall. And as we take a look at the replay here, watching Leahy trying to come to pit road.
Can confirm black flag how to be served from Clapper for the unsafe entry. Leahy slides on.
Whoa.
Had to really lock it down to avoid contact.
He's incredibly lucky. He almost hit the wall.
And it's been so strange here tonight, the pit stop sequence. Matt Garrett, a 22-second pit stop. Has he had to get more repairs under green as Clapper comes in for the drive-thru?
I'm surprised these guys are fixing that stuff. I don't feel like that's really the smartest call to make, just considering, I mean, you're going to get it onto the stripe. It's bound to happen.
And Leahy, by the way, he's come back in. Guess what? He'll have to drive through again. He sped. Again.
Man, these guys are so ready for this just to be over. I guarantee it. Also, Freeman, I do believe, has just come to pit road. He is now filing his way down pit lane himself. So that leaves, I do believe, only Sean Bounty and Jordan Durasic. And Durasic's getting passed by a lot of people. I just saw Clapper or Cherry just get by him.
Tyler Truex up on the wall behind Jurassic. Trying to power his way on by. One of the main policies is usually black flags, or rather meatball flags, can be waived. Tyler Truex took that chance. That's why he got 43 seconds in the pit lane instead of the full couple minutes. Nearly adding a lot more to it. Bounty coming on in. Jurassic to the lead for the first time.
You said you can wave a meatball flag. What?
It's been done before. I don't recommend you drive with the mandatory repair, but some people have remembered this season.
Wow, I didn't know that. You learn something new every day. I wouldn't recommend that at all. I mean, usually when you have a meatball flag, that means that car just should not be on the racetrack. I mean, wow. But we do see Sean Bounty. He has come to pit road, so leader has come to pit road. Jurassic, the only one out still. I think this is a desperate call for Jurassic. I don't think he has any hope of winning this race unless a caution.
Trouble back straight away. McCrary nearly slammed into by Matt Cherry after a slide. This continues to be a wild run. Mark McCrary is probably the only one who is having a calm time out here.
Yeah, for sure. I think everybody is just feeling like this track is cursed.
I think the 88's the only one who hasn't made a slide today with how this has gone so far. But here is the major question mark. What does the 46 do? Here's the problem. 46 is all over the racetrack. TJ Lee is currently the only driver with a chance to have any chance of winning on the one stop, but he's only got a 2-second buffer in closing. And he's nearly hitting the wall every lap on the tires.
Yeah, I think I think that answers the question. I think that TJ Lee, I thought he might have had a shot, but it looks like that might not be the case. So I think, yeah, Bounty is in the most likely position at the moment to win this race. Now, Jordan Durasic, I think he's throwing a Hail Mary pass right now. He is hoping and praying that some sort of caution comes out here to save him and possibly, just because I think he wants to see if everybody else would have to get a wave around.
I think one thing that should be mentioned, as the one person to mention is in the wall, Jordan Jurassic has lapped the field with the pit stop cycle, so if there's a caution, this field could get very wild. Never mind, he's coming in this time by, so there goes that idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had to. I think he's probably realized that he has to come in. But, I mean, if a caution had came out, that could have been perfect for him. I think it would have only locked one down pit road.
TJ Lee's also coming in right now. So with TJ Lee losing the net lead, he has taken the aversion away from the one stop. It's now Bounty and Diebold, 1 and 2 on the racetrack. 10 seconds the difference between them. as things equalize after the final pit stop scheduled for the race outside of Allen Jr.
Anything can still happen here, though.
Especially at Darlington, a lot of spare sets available in the pit lane. Jurassic still completing the service. Bounding to the point. So quickly completing service for this run. Boundy now going from what was a 3-second lead to 7 to 8 seconds with the 5-lap undercut.
This is interesting, though, because Jurassic's going to have newer tires. And I think that it's still possible that Jurassic maybe catches up to Boundy. I mean, we'll have to see. That's going to be, I think, a very low possibility, but still very successful race so far for Jurassic. I mean, he's in second place. He came out in front of Diebold, and he has much newer tires than Diebold. So I think the fastest laps are getting ready to be set by that 6.
Justin Clapper at risk of going 3 laps down. So everything's gone from a solid recovery from the incident before to not so much. The 63 of Clapper, the boss man for Mid-Pack Motorsports.
Yeah, he's not making it very easy on the 6 as well. He's not really moving out of the way. He's just kind of holding him up a little bit there. Goes really low on the center of the corners, and that slows him up on exit. So that's really hurting Jurassic right now. Jurassic's going to dive it in. I think he's just saying, I got to go. And I think he's going to make the pass successful here.
Yes, he does. Boundy, nearly 10 seconds up the road. With under 20 laps to go, Boundy on the cruise ship to be able to try and pick up win number 3 of the season. Talladega and Martinsville, the earlier wins in the campaign. It's been very solid at some of the bigger tracks in the road courses. Roger Diebold, his strategy, starting to see the bad side of it. He is 7/10 slower than the leaders.
Yeah, I think he's just holding on for dear life. I think the best case scenario, he doesn't get caught and passed by Mark McCrary, but I think it's going to happen. The 88 has, I think the 88's got a solid top 3 in his future here if he keeps it up. I mean, like you said, he's been really good at staying out of trouble. And I think that is really what you have to have at a track like that Darlington. I mean, you really do not want to have any sort of trouble. I mean, he's got probably one of the cleanest cars out there at the moment. He's very much faster than Diebold, about 0.3 faster to be exact.
Knocked out of the playoffs, keep in mind. In the first round, he had his worst possible stretch of races this entire season because normally he's been top half of the field on average. In the 3 races in the last round, wasn't fun. Milwaukee Mile, Indy Oval, Watkins Glen did not have a good stretch, had his worst possible races amongst his worst finishes all season. Now, battling for his best finish all season, a top 3.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we first started calling the Thunderclap series to where it seemed like, Mark McCrary was one of the guys to watch. The 88, always seemed like he was in contention for top 5s and top 10s, but unfortunately just bad luck seems to plague him. But right now he's looking like he's got some good luck, and I think that what he's doing right now is he's learning, and he's trying to get himself set up for next season. He realizes I don't have a chance for a championship, but I do have a chance to learn.
Yeah, 3 non-top 10 finishes were part of the reasons why he was knocked out and is currently the first driver out of the playoffs in terms of point standings. Now he has the chance for 3rd, inside the 38. 13 to go, Diebold backs up the corner, lets McCrary send it in. The Speed Kings car inside the top 3.
Yeah, I wouldn't count out Freeman either, because McCrary was being held up by Diebold. Freeman has kind of entered the picture. He's about a second back from Diebold right now. So watch out for the 5. The 5 has been one of the fastest cars all race long. If he can get by Diebold quick enough, he might actually challenge McCrary here.
Freeman, for reference, is within 1 second. He ran another 7/10 quicker than that Ford last time by.
Yeah, I think Diebold is hoping and praying for some sort of caution or something to give him a fresh set of tires. I think a lot of these guys probably want a fresh set of tires, but him more probably than anybody. I mean, lap time-wise, he has been one of the slowest guys on the racetrack.
Here he goes. A slide by Diebold. Freeman instead takes it on the outside, and Diebold's decline continues to the field. Next car back is 5 seconds, however, to Greg McConaughey to hold on to the top 5. 11 laps to go here at Darlington.
Yeah, I think it's a lot less likely that McConaughey is going to catch up there to Diebold. Their lap times are not that far apart. Well, I don't know, maybe not. I mean, Diebold last time by 30.8, but I think that might have had something to do with him battling with Freeman. A lot of times, this is one of those tracks that's notorious. When you're side by side, you go much slower. But another battle that is kind of coming to fruition as well as we talk about McConaughey, Matt Cherry, really close to the back end of McConaughey at the moment.
He's been trying to push hard. Their averages over the past 5 laps within a couple 100ths of the difference. 13 1,000ths, in fact.
Yeah, look at Matt Garrett. I mean, Matt Garrett's about a second back from Matt Cherry right now, and we know that Garrett has one of the fastest race cars in this race. I mean, that 3 machine won stage 1 and stage 2, and right now he's moving at about a 10th faster than the guys that are in front of him at the moment. A little bit of contact with the wall there for Cherry.
Still keeps on going, though. Inside 10 laps to go here at Darlington. Longest green flag run of the race. 9 cars currently on the lead lap for now. Still no move yet from the 67 of Cherry.
Well, I mean, we only had one, I think, caution that was based on an actual wreck. The other 2 cautions were based on stage cautions. So this has been a really clean race. So it looks like Greg McConaughey up into the outside wall.
You speak the contact into existence, why don't you?
Oh, that's what I do.
Both of them hit the wall, by the way. We're sliding in. Keep in mind, for Greg McConaughey, once again, needing solid points runs. Cherry, he's above the cut line, but right now is trying to keep the car going with hits like that one. And again in the wall. Still no mandatory damage somehow. He needs to keep it on the racetrack because right now this is a massive pickup on the cut line.
Yeah, this is definitely, he's using the rest of that race car up. He definitely don't want to end it now. I mean, after 146 or 145 laps out on this racetrack, I do not want my race to be over now. Almost at the end of the finish line.
By the way, you may notice that interval is shrinking between Bounty and Jurassic. It was 10 seconds before. It's down to under 7. But with 5 laps to go, do you blame Bounty for keeping it patient and keeping it careful? Jurassic is trying to put up the qualifying tempo again from earlier.
Yeah, no, I don't think. I think Bounty's just like, you know, I just want to make it home. I just need to make it there. And Jurassic is more like he needs to floor it every chance he gets, and he's definitely been cutting that time down. He's definitely been risking it all, but he would have to be like a second, maybe a second and a half faster every lap, and that's impossible. That's literally impossible.
With how this could go, indeed. 4 to go from Darlington. Bounty, a few miles away from locking himself in to that dark 8. And Bounty's been able to do this on long run much of the campaign. It's 2 wins, as mentioned, at a super speedway in the Xfinity car, a cup win at Martinsville from 16th starting spot. Tonight, showing why Bounty's been in contention for so many more races this season. 2 laps to go.
And can you blame him? I mean, for wanting to do good in this race and winning this race to lock himself up into the next round. Next week, we're going to Atlanta Super Speedway. I want to go into that race and be calm and not even have to worry about that race.
Jurassic now starting to bounce off the walls as he's closed the gap to under 6 seconds. But as we come up to 1 lap to go, Bounty getting situated with the 2 laps to go now taken at this time by in the stripe. Lap 149 underway with just 8 cars on the lead lap. Freeman, by the way, It's being pressured still by McCrary. Freeman has taken third spot, but McCrary is keeping that pressure up. So get ready for that white flag.
Yeah, Sean Bounty definitely playing with his food right now. I'm sure that Jurassic is licking his chops, thinking, "Oh, I'm catching him," but it is gonna not be. It's gonna be too late. I think that Bounty has just been taking it easy. He's been having a nice Sunday drive as the white flag is out, presented by RL Productions.
Final lap to go here from Darlington. Sean Bounty kept it patient all throughout the first two stages. Patience usually comes up on top at the place they call too tough to tame. Sean Bounty tamed it tonight. Final corner. Move to the dark gate. Sean Bounty, a third-time winner. He wins at Darlington.
Yeah, what a fantastic performance there from Sean Bounty. Just took it easy, showed patience, showed wisdom.
Oh, meanwhile, McCody and Cherry swapping spots at the end. Cherry in the wall. McCody tries to fall. They spin at the stripe. McCody floors it into the wall, but doesn't. Yes, he in fact does get sixth spot.
Wow, Cherry finished backwards. Oh, wow. That was a crazy finish.
McCody absolutely floored it into the wall to make sure he got the spot, knowing he was about to spin it.
Wow. What a crazy finish. And that was a finish for sixth, I should say, as we see Sean Bounty doing a little bit of celebration. I'm sure he doesn't have much rubber left on that tire, but he's going to use it.
So Sean Bounty's third win of the season, his first win since back-to-back dubs back in April. He celebrates a lock into the next round for the playoffs as a result as well. So we take a look towards your unofficial race results here from Darlington. The 35 of Bounty picks up the win over Jurassic and Freeman, the JCR teammates, 2 and 3. Speed Kings driver Mark McCrary in 4th. Roger Diebold having a solid run from the pole, but finishing in 5th. Holding off a crash-filled finish for the Next Level Motorsports teammates. Greg McConey, Matt Cherry crash at the stripe. It's McConey who gets the advantage. Look at that interval. 1/1000th of a second. Wow. 8th spot goes to Matt Garrett. For some reason, he scored a lap down there, but he did finish on the lead lap. Allen Jr. and TJ Lee, your top 10.
Of course, 11th place, Matthew Montgomery. 12th place, Tyler Truex. 13th, Justin Clapper. 14th, Leahy. 15th, Robert Walton. 16th, Scott Formosa. 17th, Darren Dennis. 18th, Anthony Burleson. 19th, Brandon Schumann. 20th, Robert Condon. 21st, Joshua Kohner. And, of course, I do not believe did not start the race, is Adam Schramm.
That's a look top to bottom at your unofficial race results here from Darlington. It says for night for Sean Bounty. A big points night for some others. Some drivers taking the time to burn down the wall currently. So, as Jordan Jurassic and Sean Bounty currently do coordinated burnouts at the start and finish line and try and blow up their motors, let's talk to John Freeman, one of the JCR drivers. John, big difference between the first half of the race and the second half. What happened?
To be honest with you, man, it was just a lack of talent on my end in some aspects. A lot of mistakes, and it's kind of been my season as a whole. I have the speed and just need to stop making the driver errors. I went in there and tapped the wall a couple times, got a little bit of damage, which tightened the car up for pretty much the rest of the race because I never had time to repair it, and missed the pit road on the very last stop, and had to go back around, got in the pit road, and then missed my pit stall.
So you did have damage in the closing stage. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, in stage 3, I got a little bit of damage. It wasn't much, but it tightened the car up instantly.
And that's a major difference to what some people think with this next-gen car, where they say, oh, it's a tank. You can bounce off the wall 20 times. Not at Darlington, it seems.
No, not at all. I did it twice early in the race, just like a couple grazes, and it didn't affect it. But then I had gotten past Jordan for second and got like in the dirty air of a Bounty there, and it just went right to the wall about 15 or so laps into the run, and after that, like, it instantly got tight. Like, I was having trouble even turning through 1 and 2 after that, for that whole rest of those last 2 or 3 runs we were on.
But in turn, though, a good points night in general in terms of the championship standings. Still waiting for the unofficial tallies, but after tonight's race, the pressure still is on a little bit because it's Atlanta's super speedway configuration. How do you feel about going, well, tapered spacer racing, if you could still call it that, for the cutoff?
I'm honestly, man, very confident when it comes to plate racing. Me and Jordan and our other buddy Thomas, who's raced here a few times, we run them a lot together when we're all home. And me and Jordan actually ran 4 or 5 Atlanta races a few weeks back when they were there for the official races. I think we got like 1 or 2 wins each, so we're confident going into that race. And I think we're going to be sitting pretty good in the points. I should be probably 40 or so above the cut line now, so I feel pretty safe to go out there and maybe try to get some safe racing, some stage points of 1 and 2 if I can, see if I can't clinch, and then we're going to go out there and try to get that win because we've been so close, man. This is my 11th top 5 of the season. Like, I think it's like my 9th or 10th top 3. So I really just want to go out there and get a win at this point. It's starting to stress me out a little bit.
Well, congrats on the top 3 either way, John. We'll see how you do in Atlanta.
Yes, sir. You have a great night.
You too. That's John Freeman finishing in 3rd. His teammate Jordan Jurassic in 2nd. He's with Brian.
Jordan, I know I talked to you before the race, before the broadcast. We talked about how you think qualifying was going to be difficult. Of course, it did turn out to be that way. But I'll tell you, if you had used some of those laps you turned at the end of the race, you might have qualified on the pole. How was the race for you, brother?
Yeah, a bit, coming into this race, the car and the setup, it was real twitchy, and I just did not have any confidence on any sort of lap. It's just maybe even going 50%. It just snap on you at any moment. But we kept the car clean for most of the race. Actually, the track came to us as the night fell, so that was good for us as we got lap time. We just could not get the power down coming out of 4. We always had to mainly hold it in 5th gear and not shift to 4th. We tried a couple times, but we just could not get the power down like the 35 car did. And yeah, pit stops were fine. Everything was pretty clean for the most part, but we tried something there at the end on the very last run to try to offset with the 35 or maybe catch a caution, but we didn't catch it. Oh well, we had plenty of gap from 3rd place behind us, so we just kept it in P2 for the rest of the run.
Yeah, definitely a really good points day for you for sure. And you know, it was interesting to see. You were talking about you had problems that, you know, really dealing with the 35. I think at a lot of points you were faster than him. Do you think it was dirty air that was causing the issue? Because we noticed it seemed like whenever you got within about 3/10 or less, that's when you started having handling issues.
Yeah, I'd say it's one of the factors. Dirty air is one of the factors, but he was just good and consistent on the long run. I just felt like I was working the wheel so much, even without shifting, that it was just hurting me so much. Eventually, even when I was in clean air, but. Yeah, I mean, I'm just more proud that we even got a 2nd place finish. Looking how practice went yesterday, and then actually the car was a little bit better today in this session, so I had a little bit more confidence coming into the race.
Well, definitely a great job to you. I know I do believe at the moment you are 4th in the playoff standing, so definitely fairly safe, I'd say. And this 2nd place is definitely going to continue to make you safe. How is your confidence level going in next week? We're going to a super speedway version of Atlanta Motor Speedway. How are you feeling about that?
I never ran the trucks or any sort of stock car other besides Indy cars at the new Atlanta, but we're going to have some practice. I don't know if the cars get tight or loose as the run goes, but I feel like if we're good enough in the points lead after I see this, I think we'll play a little bit more on the safe side and not be too much aggressive, like as if we need the points. But yeah, I feel confident going to the race. Nothing, make no bonehead moves.
100%. Well, hopefully you don't make any bonehead moves. Who can we shout out for your 2nd place finish here tonight, Jordan?
Oh yeah, if we get a shout out to our Minipeach.com Chevrolet, man, we were fast all day. Just proud of the team, and if you want to go to the Minipeach.com website and use the code JJ10, you can get 10% off your first purchase.
All right, Jordan. Well, thanks, man. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
That was Jordan Jurassic, driver of the 6 machine, finishing 2nd place here tonight. Next up, of course, Justin Prince will be standing by with Sean Boundy, our winner.
Yes, indeed, Sean. Your first win since April, and this time gets you into the next round of the playoffs, a big one in terms of getting yourself to the Dark 8. First of all, how does it feel to break through for your third win of the season and to lock your spot into the Dark 8?
It's a relief. I'm still processing it because I'm still trying to pry my hand off the wheel. Yeah, it was awesome. The early in the race, the first two stages, my goal was just make it clean. Anybody challenge me, if they were hounding my bumper enough, to just let them go, and I let a few cars go, and then just held my own in a nice solid pace without running too hot, and just mostly it was just discipline and patience and just keeping track of the anxiety. Every chance you get, take a breath, recenter, like every single lap, and just hit your marks. I think I only got a little sideways once this whole race, and that stage 2 pit stop really kind of sealed the deal, because the top 3, we were all kind of in another level as far as speed, and I knew I could compete with them on speed. I did it in practice, I did it a couple early runs, but I didn't want to run that speed, and I felt like if I could just keep it calm and keep the tires cool halfway and we get some long runs. I mean, I was not expecting that. Congrats to everybody in this race for allowing us to run this race out. This car was honestly terrible to drive. Absolutely terrible, and it's just managing. I'm excited.
Yeah, I was about to say, when it comes to long run, wondering about that pace early, because people were zipping by in the short run in the first 2 stages. Then it started to click, it seemed the third run. Talk about the management process between the short run versus long run, which you seem to be the master of.
Man, the short run speed is more guts, more glory. And I just didn't feel comfortable. I mean, they give this, the nickname for this track is what it is for a reason, and you really just got to manage it and stay focused enough just to keep the reins back a little. Long run pace, you get into the corners early. Freeman was saying, the Freeman dresser was saying that they couldn't hit 4th gear out of turn 4, and I was downshifting into 4th gear and just flat footing it all the way out of 4 every single lap, and I was able to hold it. But yeah, it's just checking up the corners, not overdriving it, not running full throttle, coming around 1 and 2, and like I said, I don't think I got sideways more than once the whole race.
But in turn, as a result of tonight, no stress for Atlanta. What's now the approach, knowing you're locked in for the next round?
That's a track I win or not, I would be trying to run up front, lead as many laps, maybe get some more points, because you never know what each stage brings. You've seen it in the real world where you'd think somebody has enough points to guarantee themselves into the Final 4, and they have 2 bad races, all of a sudden you're trying to get back into the top 4. So I think every situation matters. I don't want to risk anything that would put the rest of the field at jeopardy, but the way Atlanta has become, the way it was reconfigured, I'd still be looking to run up front, lead as many laps as I can.
Well, Sean, congratulations on the victory tonight. You're now in the Dark 8.
Thank you so much.
That's Sean Bounty, your winner tonight here from Darlington. Like to thank him as well as the top 3, Jurassic and Freeman. Take the time to speak with us during post-race coverage here on Grid Vision. Playoff graphic just sent on forward, in fact, by Race Control in the past 3 seconds. Brian Truex, Sean Bounty are now into the Dark 8. Freeman, the first driver, in on points by 54 points over Jurassic, Matt Garrett, Robert Debo, and Matt Sherry and Scott Famosa. Tyler Truex, as a result of his run tonight, 2 points under the cut line. Greg McConaughey's 4. Justin Clapper minus 22, and Noah Rainwater did not start the race tonight. A lot of pressure building up for a couple of those drivers for the next race at Atlanta now.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's not a track I want to have to get a good finish at. I mean, these guys are going to be going flat out around that place. I mean, it's going to be bump drafting, and it's not, it's a super speedway, but it also has a little bit of a difference to it as well, that a lot of times you can drive on the apron on the front stretch, and that could be a scary instance. I just think that I just really wouldn't want to have to put all my hopes and dreams on that track. Because, I mean, if I get in an accident, race over. What are you going to do then? You're out of the playoffs.
A lot of question marks. We'll see how things go down at Atlanta again next time out here on Grid Vision. Again, as talked about at the top of the show, plenty of action right around the corner. Because when it comes to the Grid Vision schedule, let's take a look at it. The weekly schedule this upcoming Friday, it's LIS Open, the road course at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Which teams will come out on top? Lots of talking points about some of the top drivers coming into this week, especially with the top teams to be able to handle that infield. 9 p.m. Eastern Time. GRL Truck Series action, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday as well, as they go to IRP. Can they handle Lucas Oil Raceway? We'll see this Sunday. On that note, though, it's time to say goodbye. For my co-announcer Brian Britt, for Austin Darbyshire and Justin Prince saying so long, enjoy the rest of your evening. You've been watching Grid Vision for coverage of the Thundercloud iRacing Series playoffs presented by TLC Incorporated. Congratulations to Sean Pelley, your winner from the place they call Too Tough to Tame.